Oh, what a beautiful world. I know it's kind of late, but I'm up. Been hunting for a load with the click and goes. We are doomed to repeat history. Hey, check out this truck. Nice truck. Go to bed. Charles. Oh, with only 5 people in here, I probably will. Hey, isn't there like some YouTube trend for a minute where people were like live streaming them sleeping? And like there were super chats? You guys remember that? It's I don't know. Else we got let's see. That's Circle of Death. Charles Bryant, Pigtail, Rick N, GNC Family Trucking, Pale Rider TV, Chris with Michael Chen, Marty, Clyde. Oh man, so I've been kind of thinking, you know, about a lot of things about, I don't know, if you look at everything in an energy sense, right? There's a lot of negative energy, and it's been hard to stay focused. You know, I've talked about it with friends. I've talked about it with family. You know, we've seen it on Facebook. We've seen it in YouTube. You know, with all the YouTube drama stuff, and I think that a lot of people are looking for an escape. You know, like for example, I've been watching Netflix when I should be like, I don't know, doing business stuff. And I think that's where a lot of the YouTube stuff comes in. But it seems like lately, like outside of the trucking YouTube thing, there's a lot of people putting out a lot of content. I have to eliminate some of my subscription channels I'm subscribed to because there's just, I'm bombarded with YouTube notifications, and there's a lot of good gems that I probably miss out on because you know, like for example, Dr. Berg, he puts out like 3 or 4 videos a day, it seems like. Thomas Delore, another health guy, he puts out like 2 videos a day. Active self-protection, 2 videos a day from 2 different channels. Gets kind of overwhelming, right? You know, but they say that in order to build your channel, you want to put video after video after video after video, and I don't know. Hello from you. Is that where you're at, Karen? Hello. But I've been trying to keep, I don't know. Well, I'm not gonna say that. It's like I'm trying to keep to myself, but been on the phone all day. I've been in everybody's live feeds on the StreamYard thing. So, but we delivered a load straight through today, and I was in this exact position last Friday when I made a couple of mistakes and went home. But it was probably good. But this weekend I intend on maybe staying out. So Holy cow, I thought I was hearing things. What's wrong, Steve? Yeah, truck and shop for one box issues again. Well, Clyde, I hope that doesn't get expensive. Let's do without these glasses. They've been annoying me. TJ, what's up? So, what's wrong, Thomas? Nothing's really wrong. I just wanted to chat. I was sick of Netflix and I'm too awake to go to bed. I know my wife's probably already in bed, or else I'd be talking to her. But oh, I was watching Spectre's video, and it's good. It's a good direction. And when I was accused of being a snitch, do you guys remember that? And there was a point where I had a conversation with Spectre and Kevin on the same phone call. And I said, this YouTube drama stuff is going to get somebody hurt, right? Because at that point, there was another YouTuber, I won't mention his name, that was racking his gun off screen because he felt threatened. And there were threats in the chat of some of these other YouTubers, you know, and I told Spectre that all of this stuff has gone too far. You had people calling insurance companies, you had all these accusations of everybody, you know, and you had people feeling threatened. Eventually somebody's going to get hurt. Eventually someone's going to get hurt. Eventually someone's going to get their truck vandalized, or, you know, for example, we had one of our own drivers attacked verbally on the CB simply because it said like trucking on the side of the door. And obviously that is someone who obviously follows YouTube and doesn't like Jeff, right? You know, we all have our haters. But see, that's the thing. What's that word? Haters, right? You gotta love social media, because here's the deal. Social media is what makes you hate a person you've never met, that you would never even cross in life, for no reason. Think about that. When I was down with my ankle, I actually had people texting me, telling me I was going to fail, and that I was stupid, I didn't know how to run a business. And obviously this person had my number, so it's obviously a person I tried to help, or wanted help, or chatted with me at one point. And they were what you call a hater. Now, in spot market, and it really saddens me that people could live with that kind of hatred in their heart. That you're going to take a guy when he's down physically and try to beat him down mentally, right? And the reality is like, it's really none of our business how somebody else is conducting their business on their own. Now, if they're ripping people off, then yeah, you know, that needs to be known, but you have to have proof. You have to have some kind of solid foundation, you know, and even then it's still hearsay. Because the majority of social media is he said, she said, they said, we said. And I can't believe you said and as we deal with the corona, we deal with the riots, there's a lot of negative energy right now. And I feel that people have lost focus. I feel that people have burned themselves out. I feel that sometimes it's easier to fly off the handle. You know, so all this negative energy is all bundled up, and social media is another way for it to get into your soul, right? Thomas says, I'm surprised someone didn't get shot, personally. Everquero, how's it going? Cameron? I think I need to put my glasses back on. I'm getting old. Hope it changes for all of them. Well, I can't stand. I never understood the hate for Jeff Like. He seems like a super nice guy. So this is a dangerous place. You're absolutely right. Now, I had a load that delivered in not a great area in Springfield, and I actually spent the night in that not great area. And, you know, nothing happened. You know, fear is definitely can be paralyzing. People have lost their moral compass. Yes. Alex, what's up? Herbaquero, you've got a good point there. You wouldn't say it to hear their face, but you'll say it on the CV, online, or on YouTube. Alex Express, Daniel Adami. Good evening, Scott. Good evening. YouTube truckers 10 years ago all support each other. You never seen one bit of drama. Chapel, that's true. It's absolutely true. You know, and it's not just the truckers, right? It seems like a method. It seems like a manipulation method, right? That it's the cancel culture. It's the you're wrong, I'm right, and you can't just agree to disagree. You know, and when somebody sees something that they can't have or something that's beautiful, they want to tear it down. That's human nature. Humans have always been like that, right? And in all, you know, people, well, social media has made society worse or whatever. No. Here's what it's done. It is a magnifying glass for the failures of humanity. Trucker Nene, good evening. Don't know any of them on that level, but some do, but not sure how long it will last. Hope they can all change their ways, be successful, and have peace in their life and business. I've been watching truck videos since 2008. Choplo, then you might remember me from my old channel. Oh, what'd you say, Rick? Substantiation is something most people won't be able to provide, but to be honest, most people I've heard giving business advice on YouTube, other than Jeffrey and bigrigceo, are horrible. Well, see, that's a perception, right? And I had this conversation with a friend of mine that has his own authority, and I think that, like, for example, I had my wife and I had to tear apart our toilet at home, and what did we do? We went to YouTube, right? You find 2 or 3 videos, everything I've learned, you know, and learn as much as we could so we can tackle the project ourselves. And then the gun stuff, right? I've been learning about handguns and techniques and put myself in that mindset to be safe, you know. And so I find those channels. And just like message boards of the past, like Truckers Report, you know, or you know, if you guys are back in the Napster days, remember chat rooms in Napster? You know, it's always been, you know, the negative energy of humans are just magnified, right? And are there good advice people? Yes. Are there bad advice people? Yes. But see, part of that is because sometimes you might ask somebody for advice that just doesn't have a clue because they can't get that perception because they don't deal with that particular thing. Like if you told me, like if you asked me, hey Steve, is I don't know, Maverick a good company, right? Maverick, the flatbed company. I don't know. Never drove for Maverick. Never had an interest in flatbed. Don't know anybody that works for Maverick. There's one YouTuber that works for Maverick, and he's a very, very happy-go-lucky, very to-the-book, neat, positive person. That's Brian Hall. And so I have to admit to myself that I don't know, and then the person has to realize I don't know. But sometimes I might, you know, a person might go, well, you know, Maverick I've heard is a good company. You know, it's not really good advice, is it? You know, because it's coming from a non-perception kind of thing. And there are people that would take whatever advice I have, or whatever what Jeff might have, or bigrigceo, or Jason Pote, or any of these people that put advice out there and call it crap, because what works for one person may not work for another. And too many people ask what? They want the answers handed to them. Hey Steve, what's a good lane? What's a good lane to make money? Well, you should be asking, how do you find a good lane, right? That's the real answer. Teach a man to fish. You know, that's kind of where that comes from. I remember you. I used to read your blogs on Truckers Report. Wow, Choplo, you are definitely old school. That blog is still up. That's so you're familiar with Doomytunes. I think Southern Riders in here. You said something. He doesn't know, but I listened to him. I remember, you know, okay, where I read that. Unfortunately, we're destined to destroy ourselves, yet I'd still be that guy to give a stranger the shirt off my back to help a stranger. Southern Rider, yeah, I agree. I mean them no ill, but partial advice could be just as bad as bad advice. Well, and that's why the advice that I give is don't take my word on it. You know, and here's the deal. So, here, like, we've got a few new guys that are new to the spot market, and I was going to put out a video. I made this 20-minute video, and I was all over the place, and I was like, I had the perfect video in my head driving down the road. And then by the time I got parked, I was distracted, coffee was wearing down, and my video was all over the place. So I went to go watch it before I uploaded. I was like, wow. I delete. And that's not me putting myself down. I it's like, you know, I could take these 20-minute videos and make it into 5 different snippets that are like to the point, straight, that might help you, may not help you, right? My method of looking for loads in the spot market may not be as good as your method. And it's a good way to like say, hey, you know, this is what I do. What do you do? Well, this is what I do. This, you know, I had a really good conversation with another person today that of how he approached today, and it made him like an extra $1,500 just by his different approach and his mindset. And that's really what it's all about, guys. It's all about reaction. And this is something I'm going to tell every single one of you. If there's any advice that I can give you that's universal, doesn't matter if you're a company, doesn't matter if you even drive a truck, it doesn't even matter. Life is based on how you react. That's it. End of story. How do you react? If a tornado takes out your house, you can't help. You can't control the weather. You can't control anything. It's how you react to it and how you react to the aftermath, right? If I'm calling 20 brokers and I feel that I'm insulted by the rates that they want to give me, that's my reaction, and that reaction therefore can dictate the rest of the day, right? If you have a car cut you off, how do you react to it? Do you curse them out, speed up, intimidate them, flip them off, or do you just let it go? Wars have been fought over reactions. People have been killed over reactions. And I've watched, really good YouTubers get completely fed up or chewed up and spit out because of how people reacted to them and how they reacted to other people. And I've been guilty of it. There was a time where I tried to take a hiatus, and I was criticized for mentioning that I was taking a hiatus. How did I react to that? Well, I just kind of let it roll off my back and continued on doing what I do. But that's just it. You're honest about what you say in OTJB as well. Ricky got full. Nathan, what's up? When's the next jam session? Not for a while, Thomas. I still got my cut on my finger. Thanks, Thomas. If most people in this country were raised that way, then there's no way in hell we'd be in the shape we're in now. Here's the thing. Let's take trucking, for example. Well, let's take this a step further. People in the old days were raised a certain way. And you see it on Facebook all the time, see it on YouTube. Well, my mom wouldn't allow me to do that. My parents wouldn't allow me to do that. Or I couldn't get away with doing that. These kids aren't getting disciplined. These kids aren't getting this. These kids are getting this. Well, who's raising the kids? We are. The people that grew up right. Well, why aren't our kids right? You know what I mean? It's like placing the blame on somebody else is another reaction that doesn't accomplish anything. These new damn drivers, they don't have any courtesy. They don't use the CB. They take their breaks in the fuel island. Who do we got to blame? Where's the good examples? Right? Have you watched the video of the guy getting knocked out in Portland? No, I've been trying to avoid a lot of that kind of stuff. Because it creates anxiety on me. It creates a sadness. And I don't really need any more off the rails, unfocused than I already am. You know? And I told you that current events were going to test you physically, mentally, and spiritually, and mentally. And I am not without sin. I am not without my problems, right? So I've been trying to create as much, I don't know, try to avoid as much negative energy as I can. And there was a point, like in the YouTube stuff, I just kind of shut out about what was going on with the soap opera, and he kind of gave me the rundown on everything. I was like, okay, well, we'll see how this pans out, and I'm glad it's panning out the way it is, because we don't need any more negative energy. And it goes back to a conversation I had, I don't know, a couple months ago with Spectre. I said there's too much negative energy. You know, Trucker Jim tried to do a video about how all the negative energy was affecting all of the channels, to the point that I've talked to a lot of people that have written off all of us YouTubers, me, Jeff, everybody, because they just didn't want to be in that energy anymore. And Trucker Jim almost lost his channel over it. Now, I've met Jim personally, and seems like a good dude, right? And then there's a whole trucking universe, guys, on YouTube that nobody attacks each other. Nobody's trolling each other. And they just go about their day, just like Pale Rider. Pale Rider just goes about his day, does his thing, and has nothing to do with anything. And they're out there. People that have 50, 60,000 subscribers. And all they're doing is the same thing like what Pale Rider does, or what I do. You know, they're just better with the analytics. You know? Can I play drums? Yes, Thomas, a little bit, yeah. I haven't played in a long time, but, you know. Thomas, I don't know James, but I do know business, whether people follow their own advices, and another subject. My home is in South Georgia. One follow a good new YouTuber, check out Trucking with Schmidt. You know, in another year, another drama, another folks, new day. Trucker Review channel, you know, that's been the pattern, right? Everybody chills for a minute, and then something gets resurfaced. And it was revealed to me that the reason why I was blamed for being a snitch, when people that are involved know the truth, they did that to just mess with me, because they knew it would upset me. They just wanted to see me burn. And somebody that's associated with all these YouTubers that's been following me since the old Periscope days told me something. He said, trust no one in this YouTube universe. He said Pale Rider was the only one he trusted. And Pale Rider, you probably know who I'm talking about. Don't mention it here. And he was right. Pale Rider is one of the few YouTubers I actually trust, 100%. And there's a few others. I'm not going to start listing names because I don't want somebody to feel left out if I forget them. But Pale Rider and I have known each other for a long time. Pale Rider was an inspiration because at the time I was becoming an owner-operator. He had paid off his first truck, and he was being successful at it. And he was a fellow YouTuber. And we just hit it off, and we've been good friends ever since. And when it came times of our lowest points in our lives, we've held each other up. And that's the kind of friends that you want. That's the kind of people you need. And there's no amount of YouTube fame or addiction to, the audience that can ever destroy that, right? And, so I just sit here with my 3,500 subscribers, and I'm pretty happy about it. Do I wish I could make a little bit more money on YouTube? Yeah. But if I really wanted to, really put the effort, invest in some equipment, invest in some content, and really put a lot of effort to it. But there are other things in my life that I have to focus on. So about this new breed, Steve, I've been close to going to jail several times just trying to give them advice, and they get all butthurt and want to fight instead of listen. Well, I get it, Southern Rider, I get it. I mean, there's definitely a disconnect. What caused that disconnect between us and the new drivers? Little Viking coach. But here's the thing, right? I remember riding in the truck with my dad in the 80s. There were bad drivers then. There were non-courteous drivers then. There was CB Rambo then. It was actually worse. There was always the war between the Teamsters and the Independents. That was real. People were shooting at each other back then over labor disputes or over you stole my customer, that kind of thing. The bottom line is human nature is a nasty beast. And we all fall victim to it one way or another. And again, how do you if you fall down, how do you get back up? How do you react? That's what makes you a person. That's what makes you a successful person. Is how do you react? Steve, good night. Wife says it's night time. Everybody be careful. Trailer truck out there. Are you running this weekend, Thomas? I might get on Zello later this weekend. I'm gonna try to run. There's a few loads I'm looking at, but we're gonna try our chance on the load board tomorrow morning. I can't roll until 7:30, so we'll see what happens. Yeah, Thomas said it was definitely real. They think they're going to jump out here and make 100K their first year. A lot of these company recruiters must have been the key recruiters in their past. Well, Southern Rider, here's the deal, though. When I went to CDL school, number one, I had the background because of my dad, right? But number two, I could smell a bullshitter a mile away. And I ended up going with the company that had the most honest recruiter. And what happened is if you have a 10 truck company, let's say you got a 100 truck company, okay? You just got to fill those trucks up, right? So you can't be too picky. Whereas if you're a 3 truck company, you want to be extremely picky. I got a friend of mine that has his own authority. He wants to add 1 truck, and he knows it's going to be a needle in the haystack of somebody he trusts. It's out here. It really is. And you just got to focus on that. You got to focus on the positives, right? So negative energy, that's again, it's how you react to that negative energy. Do you try to turn it around? Do you try to avoid it? Do you try to fight it? What do you do? All right. Denise, what's up? You guys are up late. You East Coast guys are up late. That's cool. What is it? 11:08, so it's midnight somewhere on the East Coast. Anyways, I want to get these thoughts out because, you know, like I said, I've been trying to preach this no drama stuff for a long time. Not because I really wasn't invited to the party, but because I knew that the negative energy was eventually to catch up to everybody. And it did. It really did. And frankly, it's like the National Enquirer, you know, so-and-so slept with so-and-so, and so-and-so did this back in 1983, and so-and-so, I mean, it's like, really, is it really any of our business what these people do in their private lives? Is it really any business of ours what people did 10, 20, 30 years ago? And most of the time when you're pointing out someone else's flaws, it's because you're ignoring your own. And if that offends you, then if the shoe fits, it's easier to make fun of that guy or that girl versus, you know what, I'm kind of a dumbass. I need to do this better. I need to better myself here. No, it's just easier. Just, you know what, that guy's stupid over there. Everybody look at him. He sucks. You know? I think that my last spoiler had a 500 plus fleet, to which I was one of their 6 trainers. To say the least, I couldn't stay a trainer very long. I hear you, Southern Rider. Out of everybody I've trained, I think I've got 1 guy still left at Transland, and I got 2 that went on to bigger and better things. And after that, I haven't heard from anybody else. We are here to listen. You always have good advice. Don, and I appreciate that, Don. Like, I'm not a perfect businessman. I definitely have made my mistakes. A lot of my advice comes from, hey, don't do something stupid like I did. Don't put your finger in front of a power washer. Don't run your trucking business and not know your numbers. Because that's what I did, and it almost caused me to fail. Are there times when I've traded this as a casual driver? Absolutely. But that could be my own demise as well. A friend of mine gave me an idea for a video about failure, and that video is still coming. But what do you consider a failure? Truck along with Kiersey. How's it going? But I appreciate the kind words. Do I put myself down a little bit more than people like? Yes. But that's to keep me in check. Because ego Complacency and arrogance is rampant in society today. Rampant. And you can't learn when you're arrogant. You can't learn when you think you know it all. You can't learn from your mistakes if you feel that you can't make any mistakes. Are you hanging out around the house area? I will be heading to Casey area tomorrow, then Illinois. I'm in Springfield right now, GNC. Why are you in the truck, Steve? That's weird. Why don't you wouldn't be home? Well, because I didn't want to go through the process of drop my trailer, bobtailing home, and then be tempted not to work, right? And also, I've got a bunch of food in my fridge, in my cooler, and batteries would shut off if I left it alone. So I'd have to run the APU. Well, if I'm going to run the APU, I might as well stay in the truck, not bug my wife. And the kids are teenagers, so they could care less if I'm home or not. And I say that harshly. They do care, but they've got their own thing going on, right? And it's just easier for me to just pull into the truck stop, avoid the heroin addicts, and get a good cup of coffee here. They got good coffee here, and attack these low boards and get a really good weekend low. More likely, I'm either going to go to Texas or I'm going to go southeast. Although there was a load up to Michigan that I lost a bid on by $200. Thanks, whoever got that. I consider a failure a lesson on how not to do something the way that it works for the situation. Southern Rider, that's what I was going to get to. Is that a failure is a lesson, and how do you react to it? I play guitar. What does a guitar player do? The guitar plays a riff over and over and over, or scale, or a mode, or or a solo, over and over and over till he gets it right. Each time I don't do that riff right is a learning experience until I get it right. Like Iron Maiden. I'm a big Iron Maiden fan, right? Wasted Years. I remember I spent 3 hours trying to learn that beginning, that part, right? And I was so determined to do it. It wasn't like I tried it once, like, I'm gonna fail. Got it. Oh, almost got it. Oh, I did it right. Oh, man, that's how it was. I was a BMX freestyler. I was a flatlander, right? I did flatland. And every time the bike fell, every time I fell was a lesson on how not to fall. Don't do that. Learn your balance, learn your strengths, fix the brakes just right, that kind of thing. And so my life has been filled with try, fail, try, fail. Hey, a little bit of success. Good job. Fail. That's what life is. And how do you react to that? And so, Southern Rider, you got a good attitude. You got a good reaction to it. It's all about reaction. And I don't know. I'm at a place in my life where the small things don't need to be irritating me. Like politics, I'm able to see the bigger picture because I don't get emotionally involved in these politics. Life is like baseball. The best players have a 300 batting average, which means 7 out of 10 times they fail. That's true. One never got a notification. Well, one, that's a failure. How are you going to react to that? RD Trucking. Getting ready to crash, put me to sleep. LOL. Well, if you're getting ready to crash, it's because you're watching YouTube going down the road. Or did you mean you're about to go to sleep? See what I did there, Ernie? See what I did? Try not to get mad at the Schneider board. It keeps telling me that is down. You know, I dealt with that with the DAT board. Bro, DAT board's down. Oh. Okay. If there's not a worse time, there's 2 bad times for the DAT board to go down. Monday morning and Friday afternoon. Okay, guess I'll go do another Uber load. First, going to sleep. Anyways, that's all I got. Dice Man going live. Gee, you're up late, Dice Man. Trying to get my weekend booked, yeah. I was talking to somebody today that's new to the spot market, and he was like, told him, I said, yeah, 8 to 5, got to get it done. Because, you know, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, you know, unless it's a big broker like JB Hunt or Sage Robinson, you looking a weekend load is next to impossible. That's where the click and go apps really kind of shine. You know, that was one of the things I always liked about Schneider over Landstar, was that I could be empty on a Friday night in Oklahoma City and know that I'll find a load, right? Carry me through. Whereas Landstar is like, you're empty Friday afternoon, don't have a load. Well, sucks for you. It looks like you're either going home for 300 miles or you're doing a restart. And that's where I learned, hey, you know what, Steve? Don't be empty in Oklahoma City on a Friday afternoon at Landstar. Don't do that in spot market either. Thanks for keeping it real. You're welcome, Southern Rider. I try to be as real as I can. I'm booked through the 31st. Cross the fingers, nothing goes wrong. Trucker Dean Show. Chucky, that's been on off like that for 2 days. Now, you guys want to talk broker stuff? You guys want to talk broker stuff? Give me a thumbs up if you want to talk broker stuff. Because I'm seeing a trend that's not sitting well with me. Respond, react. I'm watching a lot of loads. And this is why it's been kind of a frustrating week for me since Friday. The 3 o'clock shuffle is not working because these brokers are pushing the load to the next day. Especially the click and goes. There was a load on one of the click and goes that was going from Neosho to Oconomowoc, Wisconsin. It was one of the bidding available loads that, you know, you probably know who I'm talking about now, but we'll just leave it at that. And I watched that thing jump another $1,000. It was supposed to have been picked up 6 hours ago in Neosho. And it delivers, there's one that delivers Sunday at 10 a.m. just outside of Detroit, and another one delivers 8 o'clock at night or 10 o'clock at night outside of Detroit on Sunday. But they had such a low rate on it. It didn't move, no budged. And now, because they're trying to milk for every dollar they can get, now that 2,200 appointment or the 1,900 appointment that load originally had to pick up in Neosho is now, it could be picked up all the way till 11:30 tomorrow. Because that's the absolute latest you could pick it up where you're not late on that load. Now, it's going to Economowalk, to a big box retailer, so you should probably figure out where it's going. You can't just move those appointments, right? The load that I was bidding on Friday going to Florida, that I gave up over $100, they just pushed it to Monday. A lot of the great rates that our guys have gotten is because they found a load that couldn't be pushed anymore. It's a new broker tactic that I've never really noticed up until now. Again, I learned, right? And so it's all about leverage with the spot market. If the broker can move that load to save off $200, they will. But if it has to go, it has to go. And if they, just like we do the 3 o'clock shuffle, they do the 3 o'clock shuffle. You know, next thing you know, at the last minute, they're scrambling to find a truck. They can't do it. They're going to pay out the ass to do it. I'm going to quit driving and get my brokerage license, make trucking great again. Hi, Kirsty. And it was frustrating me yesterday because here's the deal. I got to Joplin, pick up a short load going to Springfield. And I just did one of these loads yesterday, the day before actually. So I show up to pick up the second one, and it's a ghost load. So I got my truck order not used. I'm like, all right, well, I'm in Joplin. I'm in a good freight market. So I was bickering with the Click and Go that has actual live brokers. I was bickering over him. And we're not letting it go for more than this. And it needed to be higher because of where it was going. It was a dead market. So I wanted more, right? To protect myself coming out. Took my ability to bid on it away, and then they pushed it for it to be picked up tomorrow, and then dropped it down by $300. I was mad because I was seeing that all across the board. The brokers are doing everything they can to keep their bleeding from happening, which is why stuff was 90 cents a mile, 3 months ago, was because they knew that this was going to happen. They knew that crap was going to hit the fan. Yeah, RD, I'm seeing the same thing. And a lot of times because they push the appointment. And see, and what happens is they lose their capacity. Because no one's going to check their apps anymore. They keep playing the games. The good thing about the Click and Go brokers is that you could see the game like laid out like on paper. You know what I mean? Like in written form. And it's really kind of taught me a few things. But that's the game we play, right? So yesterday, how did I react? I got pissed. I said, screw it. And I went to the truck stop. I was done sweating in the street, looking for a load. And here's the deal. That I called the broker and I said, look, I'm literally 5 miles away from this customer. I'm ready to go now with the full clock. Just give it to me, right? No, we gotta be at 12, and I wanted 15. We gotta be at 12. Remind you, the 12 was still a good rate. However, where I was going in Oklahoma, I need to be a little bit higher and protect myself. I imagine as freight rates increase, the more trucks will come to those markets that move it. Right, that's what's going to happen. If this goes on, like, someone who doesn't know the history of the spot market, they're gonna be like, oh wow, man, I'm gonna have my new truck by October and I can then join the spot market, and they get everything ready by November, and then boom, it comes crashing down, right? Next thing you know, they got this high truck payment, they flooded the market, demand goes down, and we're screwed. And that's what happened in 2019. 2018 was real good. Everybody's like, oh, I'm gonna go join the spot market, myself included. I'm in that group. And then next thing you know, people are dropping left and right in 2019 because they didn't realize that the market was going to change. Anytime the market is too low, it's non-sustainable. Anytime the market's too high, it's non-sustainable. And the problem that we have these days is, the pendulum is swinging higher. It's like more violent, It's like, oh, it's 90 cents a mile. Oh, now it's $3 a mile for 2,000 miles. Now it's 80 cents for 100 miles. I mean, it's ridiculous, That is not only on the brokers. These companies are also feeling the effects of the shutdown and trying to find ways to stop bleeding. I agree, Chucky. It's the nature of the beast, right? I was working a couple of loads today too. My bids kept getting denied. I got mad and said screw it also, but I didn't go to the truck stop. I went and booked some loads with someone else. By the time, everything was, all this last minute stuff needed to be 600 miles away by the next day, and I already had like only 5 hours left because I had started my day at like 6 in the morning. And so my time was running out. And that was limiting my choices. So the load board said there was 200 loads within a 50-mile radius. There's probably like 20 of them that I can actually do. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. There was one broker that I put a bid in and watched it go up throughout the night through email. This has been countered at 800. I wanted 1150. This has been countered at 800. This has been countered at 900. Almost there. I figured first thing this morning they were going to take it, right? No. They said that I was outbid. Someone else took the load. But then the load was there. My bid was there, but it wasn't listed as my bid. Someone else or someone else put 1150. And next thing you know, it said, "Oh, your bid expired." Well, it expired early this morning. They obviously didn't want it to move for 1150. It had they gone up to 1,000. Sorry for yawning. If had they gone up to 1,000, I would have done it. And it's easy to be greedy in this market. Trust me, I know. And that's a different time, different subject for a different time. So, I'm going to go to bed. I'm yawning too much. We've been on here for an hour. Just a few thoughts. Have a good evening. So, thanks for watching. Good night.